Hey everybody, Jamie from the Marine Doctors YouTube channel, and if you saw the short, you already know what this video is going to be about. I believe this is a 17.5 foot Lund that was in a fire. Now here in Saskatchewan where I am, we've had a lot of wildfires up north and a lot of property damage, and a lot of boats have been wrecked and a lot of people displaced, and fortunately they caught the two people that lit a couple of the fires. The fires I think now are well under control, but this particular boat wasn't in a wildfire. My understanding was it was in the owner's friend's garage and somehow caught on fire, or the garage caught on fire. And fortunately, fire department was able to hopefully save the engine, and that's what I'm here to figure out. So I'm gonna have to run a new control box, cables to the engine, and see if it runs. If it starts and runs, then it moves over to the dyno to see if it's going to run on the dyno and make the power it's supposed to. If that all checks out, then it's just a matter of replacing the hood, because we can see it's blistered in a couple places. But let's take a look at the boat here before we get things underway and look at some stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything like this before. I certainly haven't. I've seen still pictures of stuff from up north where our wildfires were, but never been up close. So first thing I want to note is this rusty mess here, or mass here, that's a steering cable with the black coating gone. So now if you ever wanted to know, it's cable inside of cable. And that's how they work. So if you ever think you can clean one of those and get it to work, the answer is probably no. That tire I think was this tire that's been replaced. So this actually showed up the other day on a flatbed, and then we pulled it off the flatbed with the tractor. The mast, I don't know what happened with the mast. It's gone though. Whether maybe it got hot enough to just disintegrate, I have no idea. Spare tire, floor storage in the front. Of course, these are all baked. You can see one of the consoles is gone completely. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out that I thought was really cool was this is the electric trolling motor. And they use fiberglass for the shafts instead of metal, which is what the old ones used to do. So I thought that was kind of neat. Now, again, I'm making this video just to show you guys. I'm not boasting about a boat being burned. I'm just for education, so you guys can see what they go through, what they look like after a fire, and it's all up close. So that's wiring which would have been for the electric trolling motor, possibly the tilt, charging system maybe they had up front. I don't know if they had multiple batteries up front. Yeah, they must have. Yeah, down there. Now, one other thing I wanted to note was how thin the metal actually is. If you can see that, hopefully you guys can see that. I'm just going to touch the back of the GoPro and see if we can actually get something on there. But yeah, it's, if you take out a quarter, for example, it's maybe the width of a quarter. That's all that separates you guys from the water is the thickness of a quarter. And I think that's 100 thousandths, I think is what that is. I think that's what Lunds are, 90 or 100 thousandths. But we can check out the back of the engine. Everything looks good so far, outside of maybe the intense heat that was on the outside, but it doesn't look like a lot of the heat got back to the engine. So I think we're gonna be fine. Gas tank lid is still intact. Fortunately, the gas tank is in the floor at the back, so that wasn't damaged. The convertible top, I believe, is still intact, but his tarp, well, that took a beating. Seats are finished. Speakers, glove box, what's left of a window. Hot enough for the window to shatter, I bet. Damage on this side. So what do you guys figure? Do we just cut it from maybe what? Cut it from about here back, you figure, and just maybe weld a new piece on? Just put a new front clip on? Isn't that what they would do? This was his rock guard melted and flipped back. Our tractor, but that's moot, that doesn't matter. This would have been the bracket for the trolling motor. I would assume that some of the stuff was probably just, as it melted and fell off the boat or whatever, they just threw it inside the boat. The trailer itself, it looks to be in pretty good condition. I don't know what the insurance company will do with the trailer, given the intense heat that was there, whether that would weaken the metal or not. I don't know. I'm not a metal guy. Again, when it came to chemistry and whatnot, I should have been paying attention in class. I say that too often. I say it too often. Some seats damaged there. Good there. The carpet is all crisp. It's all melted. I don't know if you guys see something in the video you'd like to point out. Oh, there's the mast. Yeah, but if you guys see something in the video you'd like to point out that I'm not pointing out to everyone, that would be great. Control box, the key still turns. I don't know if the battery's in here. I did turn the key to see what was going on, and not much of anything, because like I said, I don't know if there's a battery in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook up a battery. I'll try his first. I don't think the key took a beating. And if the key didn't take a beating and the wiring is okay to the back, it might save me a bit of work without having to run a new control box. I don't think though that that's probably not gonna move. That's stuck in neutral, so I can't pull the lever up for the detent. All right, so we're gonna pull the cowling off. We're gonna throw a battery into this and we're gonna get started, and hopefully we salvage this engine. So as I suspected, there is no battery in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a battery in, and you guys are gonna see it firsthand if I blow myself up or not. I would imagine if I blow myself up though, the camera's going with it. All right, so all I'm gonna hook up is the battery. These are the accessory wires that run up to the front, and I'm gonna say that that's probably not a good idea if I throw any power up there. We don't want this thing starting on fire again. All right, so what do I need here? I need these two wires is what I need. Okay, this one, and like I said, I'm not hooking up the small wires. I don't want any power up at the front. This should be enough to hopefully get it to start. Or make some magic smoke somewhere. I'm just gonna give it a quick touch. Make sure there's no sparks. No sparks. I think we're good so far. Okay, not gonna make them super tight in case I gotta hurriedly take them off. Now, first thing we're gonna test, tilt and trim. Nothing. Not a good sign. Why are we dead in the water? Let's double check the batteries. No, let's double check the connections. Positive, negative. Just the big ones. Maybe a battery switch in here. Might have to do some hunting. This is probably just going to be a live well. Oh, awesome. It's full. Nice. I wonder if that's from the fire department filling that for him so it didn't burn. Okay. Looks like they run to, no, something, no, that's not it. There's terminal blocks there. Huh. Well, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the hood off and I'm going to see if there's voltage at the engine. one other thing comes to mind is some of these engines run a clean power, so that's a separate wire that runs to the battery. I don't think the 115 does that though. I think it's the 150s and higher. Let's go there. So 12.5 volts, so we do have voltage there. All right, fuses, I guess. Next logical place to go. That fuse is, well, looks like it's fine, 40 amp fuse. But I do have more fuses, so let's jump into those. Ah, there we go, a blown fuse. So probably from the wires shorting at the front, pop the fuse. So we're gonna pop that fuse out and I'm gonna show you guys a slick test that we do here. Rather than continually blowing fuses, we're gonna see if it's indeed gonna work. If we suspect that fuses are going to blow when we put them in, that would mean that both sides or both terminals, there would be something going on with them. So we should have one that does nothing and then one that registers 12 volts. But what we're gonna do is if we go on either side, let me get this in place here. If we go on either side and it registers voltage, it means that one side is grounded. So if we put a fuse in there, it's gonna blow. So if I go here and I go here, we should get nothing. We're getting 12 volts. That means that every time I go to put a fuse in, it's gonna blow. So that means from here forward up to the ignition switch, something has gone wrong. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to disconnect the wiring harness from the control box. So something is melted at the control box, positive wire to short to ground. All right, so we're gonna disconnect this harness. This is the one that goes from the engine to the control box or the ignition switch. So, and by doing this, we should be able to isolate where that damaged wire is. So now I'm gonna retest up here. I'm gonna retest here and we should have no voltage. If we have no voltage, then we know that that key switch and the wire harness coming to the back is shorted to ground. So again, using the voltmeter, I go in each terminal and I should see nothing. Nothing should happen. Just random gibberish. So that means it's good. So if I put a fuse in there now, it'll be fine. All right, I'm back. 20 amp fuse, and it's going. Should be no pop. No pop. Now, tilt should work. Hey, there we go. So far, so good. What are the chances? There's gonna be fuel in the VST. I'm gonna run get a control box, hook the water up, and I'm gonna see if this thing fires up. Brand new control box, coupler, I'm gonna hook it up, and we're gonna see if this bad boy starts. So when you hook these up, they only go on one way. If you put them on the wrong way, well, congratulations. Because as far as I know, they only go on one way. There we go, clipped in place. I have a key here. Let's listen for the chirp. Fuel pump turns on. I'll let you guys hear that. Let's get you guys right in here. There we go. Here we go. Fuel pump. Yep, we're good. So let's find us some water and let's spin this bad boy over. So we're going to be running it on water muffs, and I'm happy to say we haven't burnt up the back of the boat. We're good so far. Oh, we should maybe check the oil. You never know. Maybe it was burning oil. Ah, the oil's good. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go turn on the water. Oh, you guys don't need to come see that. Put you guys right there. I'm back. There we go, and turn it over. Nothing. Do you guys know why? How many guys have done this before? Look at the position of the shifter handle. Shame. Let's fix that. Shifter handle's in neutral. Lanyard's in place. And here we go. So far, so good. Let's have a look around the engine. Pumping water means the impeller didn't get hot enough to melt. Well, I didn't suspect it would have anyway. Just pointing stuff out for you guys. Well, nothing out of the ordinary yet. I'm like 99.99999% sure that we're going to be okay. What I might have to do though is unhook the shifter cables as well, because I can't move the control box, and put it in and out of gear and then run it up maybe on the dyno. I don't even know if it warrants running on the dyno. I'm quite certain this engine's going to work, but it's always best to be sure. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but I think I caught myself just now trying to move the engine so that I could get at the cables easier. Thinking back to, well, the steering's gone and the plastic all melted into the steer cable. I guess it's not going to move, is it? I guess that's just going to have to be enough room for me to get in there. Spent some money on that, I bet. That'll need to be replaced. Probably went up in the fire. I didn't see that in there. Let's let the engine run and we'll look around a bit more. See if we can find that. Oh, there's a crock. Do we see? It probably would be down in this mess, I would think. I would think that this whole console just collapsed and went straight down. Oh, so I don't even know what he had in here for a fish finder. Well, outside of the brand, right? Because the brand's written on his transducer. Oh, no, that was a different boat from earlier today. I don't know what this is. Garmin maybe? Hummingbird? Well, it's one of the two. Maybe you guys can let me know in comments. What's this transducer off of? Yeah, it seems to be running. I'll shut it off. I'm going to disconnect the cables and rerun it and see that it chips and whatnot. So there are some other items that have to be replaced. That'll have to be replaced, that boot. Melted, and again along with the hood. They'll probably just go for a new hood, I would imagine, rather than try and throw new stickers onto that, because sometimes that's a horror story. All right, I'm going to shut her down. So that hiss you hear at the end is coming from the IAC, and that's 100% normal. Be right back. Okay, restart it. Disconnected the throttle cable. I've left the shifter cable hooked up. I think that's just going to be a moot point. I know it's going to shift. I know the engine's going to run. But for you guys, let's rev it up. Hey, can you guys see the rainbow? That's pretty slick. I'm happy with that. All I got to do now is go in and do a estimate on the hood, the controls, and let them know that the engine's actually running. It should work fine. And then I think I got to pull it off for them, but I'm not 100% sure because, well, I suspect the boat's going to be right off. What do you guys think? Yeah. Always sad to see something like this, but unfortunately in the business I'm in, tragedy like this keeps the doors open and stuff breaking for customers. Yeah, it's always tragic to see this kind of stuff. Again, this is the first time I've seen one of these up close. Again, I've seen pictures. No, it's sad. He's probably got a lot of memories with this thing that are just that now, memories. And he's probably, well, will he get paid out enough to replace it? I don't know. I do not know. Hopefully he just has to pay his deductible, and then he'll up his premiums over the next couple of years and get himself back on the water. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and by the way, check out these other videos. And over here, for those of you on mobile, I know you can't see them, but those that are on PC, they can see these. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks for watching. Hey, like, subscribe, comment below. And if you like this kind of video, let me know. I just don't know if I'll ever be able to do one more of these because, well, it's tragic, right? Everything else that was coming from up north never made it back down. Anyway, thanks guys, and I'll see you later.